everybody, and welcome to our top 10 quick comic picks. I'm Andy.
I'm Matt.
We're here with Infinity Flux Comics out of Chattanooga, Tennessee. This is our really quick show where we show you some of the biggest and best books that you can get right now,
That's right.
that you can pick up this week. You can go on infinityflux.net and order, have them shipped right to you, or come pick them up in the store. But we want to let you know a little bit about what's coming out this week. And I'm actually starting it off this week with a big one, no surprise, Ultimate X-Men #1. Now, this is really interesting compared with the other Ultimate books. This is a little out of left field.
Mm.
I'll say if you didn't see that it said Ultimate X-Men on the cover, you wouldn't maybe know this is an X-Men
Yeah,
book.
for sure.
Very Peach Momoko, a lot of mystery in this, but you're going to be picking it up because you're getting all the Ultimate X-Men stuff. So don't miss out on this one. Very interesting first issue.
Yep. Next is a book that I loved so much. This is The Spectacular Spider-Men. This is the first issue of a series that is essentially a team-up series between Peter and Miles. And in this issue, it goes back and forth between Peter and Miles talking about, hey, we should meet up regularly and just talk to each other and hang out outside of our costumes. And then the other half is them in costume fighting this big monsterized version of the Jackal. It's so much fun. The writing, the dialogue, the art, everything is fantastic. I love this book so much.
Next up for me is Weapon X-Men. This is a really interesting one where the Phoenix gathers different Wolverines from throughout the multiverse to face off against Onslaught. And you get some really interesting versions of Wolverine in this, including Zombie Wolverine and Wolverine of Earth X, which is kind of a schlub.
Next for me is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Last Ronin 2 Re-Evolution #1. That was a mouthful. So this is kind of the next phase of the Last Ronin series of books. It's set about 15 years after the original series. And in this one, we do see the new turtles, who we've mostly seen as young turtles. They are now teenagers themselves. They are wanting to make a difference in the city to help with all the gangs that are running amok. Just the next chapter in the Last Ronin books. If you've been getting those, don't miss this one.
Next up, I've got Miss Marvel Mutant Menace #1. This is the next mini series by Iman Vellani, and this really does pick up kind of where the last one left off. Miss Marvel now, just because of her costume change, is facing a lot of people, even in her own community, who are turning against her because they're seeing her as a mutant menace and wanting to call Orcus to come and track her down. But Miss Marvel can't help but do good in Jersey City. So really fun beginning to this next miniseries.
Next up is The Batman First Night #1. This is another Black Label series so that it can tell whatever story it wants to tell. And in this one, this is set in Batman's early days, but it's actually set in more or less real world 1939, where Batman is investigating a series of murders of city councilmen by a couple of like big hulking guys, and he's trying to figure out who they are and who is sending them.
And next up, I've got giant size Spider-Gwen. I was really excited to read this one. You can't get enough Spider-Gwen. And in this one, Mary Jane, who is Carnage in Spider-Gwen's home
Mm.
universe, starts freaking out again, turning into Carnage. And a new character, the adopted son of Doc Ock, Orlando Octavius, has a certain interest in this new Carnage. It's going to be up to Gwen and Mary Jane to protect the Carnage from him. So, really interesting, giant sized issue.
And next for me is Golgotha Motor Mountain #1. This is about two brothers named Vern and Elwood. They live in a small backwater town of Golgotha, Kentucky. They cook crystal meth. And one day, this giant meteor from space crashes right into their barn where they're cooking it, ruins what they're cooking, so they decide to crush up the meteor and sell that instead. And the people that they sell it to, let's just say it doesn't react well with their bodies.
Last up for me, I've got Star Wars issue 44. This is really cool. This begins the trial of Lando Calrissian as he had to give away some Rebel Alliance secrets to Jabba the Hutt to save Lobot. Now he is put on trial by the Alliance to find out, is he gonna have to get jettisoned out of the into space? So a really fun beginning of this story arc.
And last for me is What If Aliens #1, and this tells the story of what if Carter Burke had lived when, instead of dying in the movie Aliens. This is actually co-written by Paul Reiser, who was the actor who played Carter Burke. And yeah, I mean, that sells itself. What if Carter Burke lived?
Well, and that is it for our top 10 quick comic picks. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to head over to infinityflux.net where you can order these books while supplies last. And stay tuned for our longer show coming up. We'll be going over these, their variants, and a lot of other books coming right at you. So thank you so much for watching. And until next time,
See ya.